Blog Talk Radio.
We're starting. So coffee. Hello, guys, and I guess welcome to the Donelson Files. I am Coco, for those of you who don't know me. I don't know why you're here, but okay, welcome. And so we have a couple guests, and I guess I'm kind of hosting solo tonight unless Tom's here, which he is not. That's okay. Well, I'm Coco, and we're going to kind of do something a little different today. We're going to kind of talk about the holidays. It's going to be kind of like a Christmas show because I won't be back tomorrow as I am off until after New Year's. But with me, we're going to start with, we have Elizabeth Charney. She is a model, and I'm jealous of her looks completely. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Hi, I love you. Thank you.
We also have Cece Harrison, who actually works in the psychology field. So, hello, Cece.
Hello.
Hello. And, of course, we have Lauren, who is a teacher. She is in Ireland, although I know her from the States. So, hello.
Hi. How's everybody tonight?
Yeah. Hello.
Good.
Amina. Hello.
It's pretty good. I've had kind of a crazy week. I guess we'll talk a little bit about that. I literally redid the entire bedroom in a day. We did like wallpaper, and we built a brand new headboard, and we finished this like in under like 10 hours. So that's my boring life. I miss going out. I miss, actually going out. But I am going to be ordering drinks tonight because I thought, you know what, I deserve it. So I am ordering some nice whiskey and ginger ale and a bunch of other good crap. Holidays, I'm actually really excited about. It's going to be like my first Christmas because, like, I'm Jewish, but my boyfriend is not. And so we are celebrating Christmas, and we're going to have his daughter over. She's going to be spending the night, and it's going to be really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's funny. I literally have never really celebrated Christmas, and, like, this year, like, I totally ignored Hanukkah. Like, totally not on purpose, but, like, I had a menorah that I brought over, and then, like, I just never lit it. It's just, like, sitting there. It's just sitting there. It's like, I don't even know why I have it. But, I decorated the tree, which was, like, really fun. And then I don't really cook, so we ended up ordering a Christmas dinner via Whole Foods. So I'm actually really excited about not cooking.
Well, that's good.
But I want to know what you guys are doing for the holidays. Elizabeth, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to the Cuban Crazy House, my mother's house, for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
We do, like, el lechoncito. And I have my Christmas tree up already. I decorated that, like, after Thanksgiving, to bring some delightment into my house. But nothing too crazy. I mean, Florida, we are thankfully open, and you're allowed to go and, freely go out to some capacity. We just have some the time restrictions at night, like curfews and stuff. But, trying to keep it fairly quiet this Christmas because it hasn't been the best year for me, that's for sure.
Right.
And this has nothing to even do with COVID. So,
right.
yeah, and it was my birthday last weekend, so, just getting older.
Birthday! Saw that.
Hi. Thank you, ladies. You guys are amazing, and it's good to be back on the show with you guys. So thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah. That's funny because we're both Cuban, even though people don't realize I'm Cuban, and then I'll speak Spanish, and they're just like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" They're like, "You speak Spanish really well." Yeah, it's my first language.
Cuban, niña.
Como no. See? But
I like that nickname.
And so no, but it's so funny because it's so weird. I'm from Miami as well.
That's right.
And so there's people don't understand that there's Cuban Jews, and it's hilarious because if you go to LA and you say, well, I'm Cuban Jewish, they're like, oh my God, I had no idea that exists. I'm like, have you never been to Miami?
Wow. Yes. Hello, Aventura.
I know. But Cece, what are you doing? You're in Canada, right?
I am.
You are.
I'm having Christmas dinner with a man friend, and just watching movies and maybe play a little backgammon. And so we're locked down. We can only have one or two people in our bubble in our house at a time. So we've both got kids that we're not spending Christmas with, but we'll do okay.
Yeah, I know that's hard. This year, I know that my boyfriend's daughter, she's they don't go out at all. Mostly because her mom is asymptomatic, so she's really she has asthma, and so does my boyfriend's daughter. So I really don't go out that much unless I have to walk my dog, or if I go to Starbucks or something. Other than that, I really don't do. I really haven't been going out. But Lauren, you're in Ireland, so
I am in Ireland.
You are.
Yes,
It's crazy. What time is it over there?
It is after 11 in the evening, and and I've been up very early this morning since 4:30. But I'm just an early person anyway. However, oddly enough, I am having a really good Christmas season this year. I have been filled with the Christmas spirit, probably because a lot of my students I have students from the age of 7, and I have students into the ages of their mid-40s and who travel the world. So I have all these different perspectives about different cultures, and so I get to enjoy people and their different lives as they travel the world, and they tell me about their cultures, and I learn about their lives, all from never leaving my flat, since I'm now entering into my 3rd lockdown starting tomorrow. So when Ireland says they're going into a lockdown, they really go into a lockdown. It's not like you could, you can just go, you have a little curfew. No, you stay home. And they take it very seriously here. And it's not like they wait for 1,000, infections. I mean, it hits 400 and okay, that's it. We care about you. We're handling things. So as of tomorrow, we're really into a hard lockdown, and everything is closing, and that's fine. And people take it seriously, and they're good with it because they know once we suppress it for a while, we could open up sooner, and then things get good. It's only but because people got very careless, and it was because they were letting people into the country, and always through another country that came in, and that's how the infections got up. But other than that, they have an amazing delivery services here of the best restaurants that are allowed to stay open for delivery. So the economy is still going, which is amazing. So they're still keeping the economy going. So there's ways to do this.
Yeah.
Good.
No, that's what I'm basically doing. For Thanksgiving, again, I didn't want to cook because I knew if I did, I would burn the house down. and that's like why I looked at Whole Foods, and apparently like they have like each holiday season, whatever it is, they have like a Christmas feast, and I was like, yep, like I ordered prime rib with like just so many appetizers, and I was like, and it feeds like 8 people, and there's only gonna be 4 of us, so we're gonna have some good leftovers. So that's what I decided to do. But we have Tom on the line, actually. So Tom.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was having some phone issues for some reason.
Oh.
I didn't know for some reason.
It's like that son of a bitch left me to host a show by myself.
I'm sitting there because for a while I was like, okay, you couldn't hear me, but I could hear you.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but no, you're not alone.
I'm not alone.
Which reminds me, we have to take a quick break. This is Tom Donelson, Coco Konski, with special guest Elizabeth Charney, Cece Harrison, and Lauren Buys, the official European correspondent to the Donelson Files. And also, I forgot that Cece Harrison is the official Canadian correspondent to the Donelson Files.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Elizabeth Charney, now if you want, I mean, we can make you the official Florida.
Oh, wow. That would be an honor. We definitely need that. Yeah, Miami Beach.
Yeah. All right, Tom Don Coco Konski here in the Donelson Files on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
If you want real discussions on politics, social issues, racial issues, and other topics, then tune into the Bachelor News Radio Show. Listen live every Monday and Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com. And if you missed the show, you can listen every Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern, and every Sunday at 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. at thebachelornews.airtime.pro. Listen and be informed.
Yes, don't forget to also to listen to our show and all the other shows. Let me just make sure, because we do have a new website. We have a new website, so and I'm gonna basically it's the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com, the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com. You can listen to all of our shows anytime, anywhere. For example, if you want to listen to this Christmas show for over the next 3 days, you can come on the BachelorRadioNewsNetwork.com, and you can hear it all. All right. I heard everybody's first part, so it sounds like. So I guess so. Let me ask everybody one question here. What's the biggest? I mean, do you ever feel pressure? Is there any issues out there that that maybe that affects you over the Christmas holidays, getting everything too perfect? Or
I'll go first. That's a definite no. Because I know whatever Christmas I celebrate or whatever holiday, it's gonna turn out okay. It's gonna turn out fine. Like Thanksgiving. It was just the 2 of us. And I think even with the pandemic, it probably would have been 2 of us without the pandemic. So I don't say I'm gonna make all these wonderful foods, or I will bake a pie because I know Steve's daughter loves pies and she likes sweets. So I have no problem doing that. But that's the whole reason why I decided to kind of pre-order our dinner, was because literally it's all pre-cooked. All I have to do is literally put it in the oven and just heat up the sides or whatever. So I don't strive to make the perfect holiday, because no holiday honestly is truly perfect. The only thing I do struggle with, honestly, is kind of wrapping up presents. I suck at wrapping, and that's clearly evident under the Christmas tree right now, because it looks like a 5-year-old just decided to slap on wrapping paper with sticky notes. It's horrible.
That's funny.
It sucks.
Yeah. Okay, Elizabeth. Yeah, I got a question for you, Elizabeth. Now, you live in Tampa, correct? You still live in Tampa?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, Fort Lauderdale. Okay. And now where's your family? Most of your family's in Miami.
So yeah, they're in Miami and the surrounding area where I'm at in Broward County per se. I'm located in the Fort Lauderdale area, but obviously, father being
exactly
Jewish,
where that
my mom. I'm waiting for you to come down here. Go. So
I'm gonna try. Seriously, I'm gonna try. All my family's in Miami.
Vamos, mija. You gotta come down here, and I gotta get you. But besides, I would love to get Coco down here. I got family in town, and my dad's Jewish, mom is Catholic, so I celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas. I got the menorah out, but I the same thing happened to me this year. I didn't light anything. I just left it there for looks, and then but obviously with my birthday, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, it just all falls on top of everything, and that's one of the biggest problems that I have with the holidays is because I just can't maneuver all of that at once, and then I usually try to take charge of everything, and I've had a lot of problems over the last few months, got dumped, and it's been a little difficult, and this year I haven't really given about the holidays. I really love the holidays. What makes me really sad because it's just all those beautiful celebrations over and over again. Obviously, here in Florida, we're a little bit less restricted, so it is nice, but I am not seeing my majority of my family this year because a lot of them are located in other places in the U.S. and overseas, so obviously traveling and everything. So I'm just trying to keep it fairly simple since my biggest issue has been that situation. So yeah, holidays or whatever for me.
All right, how about you, Cece? I mean, I know you mentioned you have a gentleman friend.
Yes.
That you have, so maybe put it this way: is there any extra pressure to put the perfect Christmas dinner?
No, not really. I'm actually enjoying most of the Christmas Eve prep this year. I lost a week because I had a bit of an injury, so I'm playing a bit of catch up. But no, I don't feel any stress. I guess because there's two of us, so I'm not cooking for a bunch of people, but I actually enjoy that. So the pressure there is just having all the food come out at the right time, I guess. But no, I feel good. I'm excited.
Oh, okay. And how about you, Lauren? I mean, of course, Lauren, you're never under any pressure.
No, that's not true. I do have a lot of pressure.
I'm just kidding you.
The pressure, I know you do. The pressure I think I put on myself during the holidays is always dealing with an emotional pressure of going back in memories of past Christmases, of people that I've lost, because I've lost so many family members and so many friends over my lifetime. Like I've lost, I think in 4 years I lost 12 people. And that's a lot of people to lose. It really is. And these are not just acquaintances. These are like real close family and friends. And the fact that I'm always able to go on and have be positive, but always to endure these things pretty much alone and to always be hopeful, that's a lot to consider. And I think we could all agree.
Yeah.
So when the holidays come along, especially this year is the first year without my mother. My mother passed this year. This Christmas came along, and I had to consider, oh, wow, this is the first year my mother's not here. I had a choice to make. I really did. Am I going to make it like, oh, wow, this is the first year, that my mother's not here, And I had to sit with that, and I did. I sat down, and I thought about it. And I said, I could either, wallow in this and, milk it for all it's worth and really put myself into such a state of depression, in isolation, really, think about it, right? Alone, with my boyfriend in another country that I can't see because we can't travel, right? Be really, really isolated and feel and make things probably 10 times worse than they are, or allow myself to move through it, which I did. I moved through it, and then I said, wait a minute. And then I really started to focus on everything good that I remembered. And honestly, I want you to know this, and I say this with all sincerity. I came out so much better on the other side of it. And this is probably my best Christmas. And I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying my solitude because I'm not alone. And I'm enjoying every moment of this time here. I'm in a state of ease with all of this. I'm listening to Christmas music during a time when most people are in a lot of pain. That's my Christmas.
Yeah. Well, let me ask a quick question, because do you have still family members back in the U.S.?
I do. I have 2 brothers, and I have 1 sister left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess my question, okay, so how do you, I mean, obviously obviously, I guess my question would be, is how do you do your Christmas with the 3 of them and their families? Or do you do a Zoom? Do you do a Spike?
No, I don't.
What?
I don't, because first of all of them, with the exception of my oldest brother, who's everyone is extremely successful. Only the oldest one is married, and no one has children. And we were raised to be extremely self-sufficient. And I'm the only one that I would consider myself to be the empathetic one, the one that cared, the one that nurtured, the rest of them, at 18, they left the house and they really didn't care about anybody else. I was the only one that, kept in contact to my detriment, So now at this point, they really never touch base anymore. That's the worst part, So, they keep in touch. They'll send emails. They'll do that kind of thing. But, see, that's why we all have to understand our own sense of worth. We all have to understand self-care. That's why this whole thing about the pandemic and Elizabeth, I'm also speaking to you right now, and Cece and Coco, feel free to join in here. In a minute, I'll be quiet, I promise. Regardless of who comes and goes in our lives, it's not about who comes and goes in our lives, because we stay in our lives, and we are who we are. We come here for a reason. We come here to learn about things and to get better and to enjoy what is here, regardless of who is here. That's what it's about.
Thank you.
So, thanks. Yeah, sounds great. Coco, I mean, I got one quick. You mentioned cooking, and you got your, I guess, soon. Can I use the word soon-to-be stepdaughter? Or is that too presumptuous?
It's a bit. I don't plan on, we don't plan on doing anything like that for at least another year or 2. So, we're not in a rush. I feel like there's such a pressure for especially with people who live together. We've lived together over a year. We've been dating 2 years, almost 2 years. Yeah. God, that's insane to me. And so I just feel like there's this huge pressure of when are you going to get married? And honestly, it doesn't matter if we ever get married. I love that kid, and to me, she's kind of like my mini me, because if you've seen us, if you ever see us together, this is kind of embarrassing. People think she's my little sister. Because we do look alike. We do look like we definitely could be related. But like I said, there's this huge pressure to get married, and I'm just for example, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, they've been together over 40 years, and they're not married, and it works out fine. So for me, I'm not in a rush to get married. I mean, I practically am married at this point, but I don't really need a paper to tell me.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, well, I tell you what, hold on that thought. This is Tom Donelson, Coco Konski with Lauren Byes, Elizabeth Shardy, and Cece Harrison for our Christmas special on the Donelson Files here on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
I never get the flu.
My kids don't need more shots.
I don't have time.
We're all healthy.
My asthma's under control.
I'm pregnant.
I've had the flu. It's not a big deal.
My kids are too old for flu.
The media is exaggerating.
I can fight it naturally.
No matter how you build your excuses, the flu can blow your house down. Keep your foundation strong. Vaccinate. Learn more at flu.gov.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
That's right, folks. Don't forget to get your flu shots. I know that so it's important. Add that to your health list. The flu shots, important. All right, that's your PSA for the day. Now, here's the thing. Let me just repeat this again because that you can listen to this show and other shows on the Bachelor News Radio Network.com. The Bachelor News Radio Network.com. It's our new website. We are making some new changes. We're going to make the show even greater than what it is right now. And you can basically go on the website and you can, for example, you can go click on the Donelson Files, and you will have some of our past episodes. Plus, you get some really good-looking pictures of Coco and myself, so you'll actually know what we look like. So, yeah. So that's just one of those great things. So again, it's the Bachelor Radio News Network.com. All right. I'll get this over to you, Cece, because you're in the counseling side. Have you? I know you've seen a lot of upticks in your counseling, but here's the question. How about during the holidays? Is anything that you see even more?
Oh my God, I could answer that for you, Tom.
Well, I'm asking Cece, then you can answer.
I mean, Jesus Christ, of course.
Definitely yes. Especially after just latest lockdowns and people getting arrested in Canada for playing hockey because there's too many of them on the ice outside, and this is Canada, so we're pretty big on winter sports and doing things outside. So it's starting to get tough. This is the second year where hockey has been interrupted, and for us that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, definitely. And friends too. I'm spending as much time probably chatting and counseling with friends as I am actual clients. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, Coco, you can add into it.
Well, no, I was just saying, my God, have you ever seen a sitcom? It's like every episode, holiday episode, it's like somebody seeing a therapist. I mean, there's truth to that. Especially during the holidays, I would imagine, especially those who are alone and, suffer from depression. And, holidays is about gathering of people and, being around your loved ones. And a lot of these other people, they don't have that. So I can imagine, that they would feel, I guess, more depressed and just more in kind of isolation than they would the other days. So, I mean, I know for me, I'm seeing a therapist, and there was a point where she was taking, I guess, 2 weeks off, and I kept thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm going to have a mental breakdown if I don't talk to someone. And, because I have anxiety, I suffer from, BPD, and a lot of those times, you just need to pick up the phone and, talk to someone. And I never really understood the other side of it, where people are like, well, can't you talk to your friends? And I'm like, that's not the same thing. I mean, yeah, I could talk to my friends, obviously, and tell them about my problems. But, if I'm going to talk to somebody about what I'm feeling, I want kind of a non-biased opinion of it. And that's why I'm in therapy.
Okay. All right, let's guys change a little quick subject, then we'll get back to the Christmas. But I know Elizabeth, you've mentioned this before. I kind of, and we kind of talked very briefly, but I know you've had some issues, with your modeling side, and if you want to share, if you want to go ahead and share that story, and
absolutely, yeah. So like we were talking before the show, how at least Coco really has a great understanding as to how toxic and overbearing the industry can be. And, when you're a very professional person, like me and Coco, we come in, we're here to do a job, we see a vision, a perspective, and we're here objectively to do that on behalf of, our reputation, all that stuff. A lot of people here like to be overly sexualized. They want to take, certain media work that, yes, it might be seen in a certain way, or it might be categorized in certain, genre within the industry, but it's based on the whole purpose of it is based on the premise that everybody's professional. But unfortunately, the situation is not like that. So I recently had two situations where I had two separate photographers become very irate that I am the type of person that I'm always going to question any situation that I feel uncomfortable or that is of question, and we need to protect ourselves as women, and we need to be very due diligent with our work and everything that we do and who we speak to and stuff, because a lot of people, at the end of the day, whether even it's, a man or a woman in some type of position of authority, they want to take advantage, and if they can't do that, they try to, this really is about the crux of the cancel culture, I would say. So when someone doesn't like you, they try to cancel you. So I had two people consistently back to back tried to cancel me because they didn't like that I spoke up and back. And to really not get into too much of the nitty-gritty, because it got very, very ugly with the first photographer. He even called the police. This guy called the 911 to say the emergency was that I supposedly stole his intellectual property when we had an agreement.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh, girl. Oh, my God. Called the police. Then that didn't work. He had Instagram take down 9 pictures. Then after that, he had some fake lawyer from Nevada send some letter there that didn't even make sense, jeopardizing his bar license, right? That was the first one that tried to cancel me. Then the second one got upset that I questioned his portfolio and his pricing. This is an industry where you're allowed to negotiate the pricing. This is not a fixated price. Like, I could charge $10,000 for pictures. Like, what are you, crazy or something? So I was questioning his, hey, listen, buddy, what can you justify this pricing? Because you're saying that you want to price yourself at this certain price point, and he got so upset, he tried to publicly shame me. He tried to get people to not work with me. Once again, coming, full circle with the whole cancel culture thing. So I decided to take a little bit of a break. I'm not really shooting for the rest of the year. I mean, I have shot with other photographers after those 2 incidents, but it's just really goes back to how this affects anybody. And I feel that a lot of people generalize in the sense of political affiliations, that's, if you're on the left, this doesn't happen to you, and on the right, this happens to you, or vice. No. This happens to
This happens
whomever.
like left or right. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
I mean, I have been, I've done some glamour modeling, and it's like you have to be super careful with, like, who you associate yourself with. Because they could be like the top photographer of the time, and they're just complete sleaze, and like I've encountered that, it's just insane, and you have every right to question someone's portfolio, and it honestly doesn't surprise me that it happened. It doesn't surprise me, and I kind of laugh at the whole fake lawyer because they always try to pull this stunt a lot of the times that I've seen. I have a really good friend of mine. She's a top model like in France here and in Lithuania, and she had an altercation with like a really high profile producer at the time, who actually is now in prison. Yeah, and so
it's just that sense like of weaponizing authority. Yeah. Like that's what they try to do, right, Coco? That's what they try to do you, to other people, to everybody. They try to utilize this authority and say, oh yeah, I'm going to project that on you because that's the way to get you to comply. The same thing with my ex. That he thinks that because he's a millionaire, he can sexually extort me so that I comply and not speak out against him and all this stuff. And then they tried to use the power of, whether it's the power of the police, which I think was horrifying, because that spoke to how the police, at least where I'm located, did not handle that situation. I even had to file like a police officer complaint against that officer because it seemed like that was one of his friends. He called his friend, whatever, but that guy was calling my cell phone from the department like an idiot instead of calling me from a private number. I mean, it was just a horrifying situation.
God.
So the weaponization of such authority, I think, is just very horrifying because it's those same people that say, oh, yeah, we're empowering women, we're elevating them, are trying to cancel them when they don't comply. It's kind of creepy and crazy. A lot.
Right.
Well, yeah. Okay, let me kind of bring in Lauren and Cece. Okay, Lauren, have you ever, in your career, ever experienced anything of this nature? I know you've been on the – do you have any similar problems or issues with this in your career?
I've had so many issues in a professional situation. So many. Like, I'm just listening. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. I mean, not in. I've had more things like as far as in every business I've been in, from banking to academics to being on a date. And it doesn't matter. Anytime a woman is in a position where she challenges someone and they don't like it, it happens. It happens. Mm-hmm. I've had this all through my life. I've had this at 8 years of age with very wealthy people in my family. I've had this all my life. It never ends. It's uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. I've had to be mom at university. I'll say it on air. I don't care. I had to stand in front of a board because a professor in the English department approached me wanted me to come to his home and he wanted to take pictures of me in his basement.
What?
And yes, I was in my fourth year at Monmouth University, and I was during finals week, and I honestly, at my age, I was almost 40, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and I was really shaking. I was getting ready to walk into my final exams that week, and it's under a lot of pressure. That school is almost $100,000 for 1 year, and I was paying my own way. And I got up and I walked away, and I was walking into the exam, and another professor saw me. She said, "Are you all right?" I said, "Yes." She said, "You're not all right." And I wouldn't tell her. Later on, she waited for me, and I said, "I can't talk to you." And I said something. She reported me being upset. I ended up telling someone else. One thing led to another. It turned out this guy did the same thing to two other girls, but they were freshmen. They were only 18 years old. School ended up asking me to give a deposition to the administration, vice president, legal team. They said that the other girls were also going to give the same thing, but the girls' parents were fearful because this was such a prestigious school. So like a jerk, I ended up doing it. They said, "Lauren, you have to do it. You're the older one. You're the mature one. You can handle this. They're 18. They can't do it. They're young. They're impressionable. But you can talk about these things." Because the things he said to me was such utter filth. Like, I can't even repeat it. It was so disgusting, so degrading and there I was. I had to be with these vice presidents, all legal people, and I had to repeat for 3.5 hours. I had to go through a deposition, and I did it. I did it for these girls, not for myself. I did it for these two 18-year-old girls who were being protected by parents that I didn't even have protecting me. After I did that, guess what they did? They sent in a female lawyer after the 3 hours and I said, "Now what's going to happen?" And I was drained. And they said, "Actually, we're just going to have a little talk with him and ask him that, he doesn't bring up these things again to any of the students. So we want to thank you for your time, Lauren. And they sent me home, and nothing was ever done again. So, yeah, these things happen all the time, Tom. Wow. All the time.
Yeah. Hold on to that thought. This is Tom Donelson, Coco Konski with Lauren Buys, Elizabeth Charney, and Cece Harrison here on the Donelson Files, the Christmas edition on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
Tune in to You and the Law with Chief Virgil Green and Chief Keith Humphrey. The show focuses on law enforcement and their relationship with the black community while letting you know your legal rights as a citizen when confronted by the police. Listen live every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com and the podcast every Monday through Sunday at 4 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern at thebachelornews.airtime.pro.
This is Dr. Larry Pedowa, host of the Dr. Larry Show on the Bachelor News Radio Network, inviting you to listen live every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com and the podcast every Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time at thebachelornews.airtime.pro. I am called the philosopher of current events, an independent, open-minded conservative with my own ideas. If you are interested in advertising or having your own show, email us at labachelor40@gmail.com.
And also, you can also listen to this show and other shows on the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com. So if you're fans of Elizabeth, Lauren, or Cece, you can listen to this show as a repeat by simply going to the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com, Donelson Files. And this show will be, you're able to get back to this show and other great shows on the Bachelor News Radio Network. All right. Okay, Cece, do you have any comments on any of this?
About sexual harassment in the workplace?
Yeah, or let's say what's happened to what Lauren and Coco and Elizabeth have brought up.
I don't really know how long ago that was, but I want to say the world is learning and things are getting a little bit better in that area, or at least women are finding their voice will be heard now as opposed to in the past. I've had my fair share of it, and myself when I, didn't have my own company, and I went through a lot of terrible things, and even to the point of having the police involved, which wasn't always that effective, unfortunately. But I think even back then they didn't really have the tools to deal with it. It wasn't until the late 1990s that I don't know why I'm throwing this out there, but that incest was thought of as really that bad by the psychiatry community. It used to be thought of as, if it was your dad or your uncle or your brother, it was just sort of preparing you for life as a woman. And so sexual harassment didn't even really have a history of validity until most recently. So I think that's why it's taken so long to get it to be such a bad thing for people to really be educated and acknowledge that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
yes, very much so.
Yeah,
I mean, there was
no
therapy for it until the late 1990s, real effective therapy, because nobody really acknowledged that it was required, which is so ridiculous. But especially in our community, this community, mental health community, it's not new. So I think that's part of why it's perpetuated.
Okay.
So that has changed. That's my point, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back to you real quick, Elizabeth, and then we're going to move on. Because you modeling, now you've started, I guess, because you've got, first of all, you got a master's degree, so you're well educated, and I know you've been thinking about going back to law school as well.
Yes.
And I guess my question would be, as a model, because obviously, I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a without, because I guess you're a very well-educated person, and yet you've faced all of this in the modeling side of the equation. And maybe my question is, have you faced it outside of modeling as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Even when I was in the academic setting as well, when I wasn't even modeling at that time, because I just started modeling actually a year and a half ago, and with respects to, professors, especially when I had started, because I had started law school 3 years ago when I lived in Tampa. I didn't like the law school, withdrew. So I waited out because the ABA, the accrediting board here in the U.S., has a rule that if you leave any school, you don't like it, even though you pay, you have to wait out. So I waited 2 years to my master's. But during that time, I had these very bizarre professors who were very overly sexualized, and they would say these bizarre comments, but I really didn't see the actual repercussions of the situation and how it blew up in my face when I just simply challenged these men in authority or with some type of authority. And especially now with my last breakup, my ex, he just threw me away like I was trash. And then, to cover up his infidelities, he tried to, go on a smear campaign, slander my name, the reputation of my business and stuff, just to try to protect himself, even though he is a horrifying person. So, and this has nothing to even do with my own personal opinion about the individual. It's just how he has led on so many other people. But that's besides the point in the professional aspect. But professionally speaking, I just think that there is that sense of where if you're a somewhat pretty girl, woman, whatever, you're always going to have some type of target. And I hope that diminishes over time. And I thought that with the whole Me Too thing, that would have alleviated some of that to some capacity. But I feel like it's actually agitated a lot more and has put more alcohol on the wounds, I feel, of men, that I feel that we can't go into that cycle of, okay, you are mean to me, I'm going to cancel you. No, because I tried to remedy the situation with these individuals, peacefully, respectfully, but it just went from 0 to 100 in just a matter of, moments. So I think that that's where when someone has a little bit of authority, especially in this industry, they try to take this and project it like at a really crazy level. And it doesn't even matter. They don't care if you're educated, you're not, you've gone to college, you have a business, or you've done nothing, or you're somebody, it doesn't even matter. It happens to anybody. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter how educated you are. It doesn't even matter how much money you have and what you have to offer to anybody. It doesn't matter. None of that is relevant. And that's why I always tell people, like, hey, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are. This can happen to you, too. So,
yeah.
It's just,
okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to, first of all, I'm going to let the four of you give yourself what would you like to see as a Christmas wish, and then we're going to move on to, anything extra you want to talk about yourselves that you got coming up. So I guess I'll start with you, Coco. In the holidays, what do you want to see? What's your holiday wish?
Coco?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a holiday wish for yourself and for others around you?
Holiday wish. Not really.
All right. Well, I think so.
I honestly don't.
Okay.
I'm pretty content with my life right now. So, I don't really have any really big wishes.
How about you, Lauren?
I have a holiday wish. I wish that everybody would really understand that they have everything that they really need just waiting inside themselves, and that there is this beautiful, beautiful spirit of passion that is just waiting for them to listen to themselves. And when they hear that, that's all they need. I just want people to be kind and to listen to themselves. Because when you hear that voice inside yourself, honestly, everything suddenly becomes all right. And it really does.
Okay.
I want people to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. Okay, how about you, Cece?
Oh boy, yeah, I do. Collectively for the planet, I hope that North American politics gets straightened out for both of us, the U.S. and Canada. That's huge. I really wish that this whole COVID nightmare resolves in the best way possible for the planet, for the health of the planet and the people on her. Personally, I just want everybody to be healthy and happy, especially healthy. And, I hope for a better new year for everyone and for myself, really, just that the publishing entertainment business opens up again. It doesn't just affect me, just a lot of people I know and the world in general, entertainment, Hollywood, filmmaking. That's a big part of our culture. So I would like to see that go back to normal as possible very soon.
Yeah. Elizabeth.
So, as obviously I had described throughout the show, 2020 has not been very good to me, but it's definitely opened my eyes a lot to my value, and to piggyback off of what Lauren was saying, and Cece, really just about value and just understanding what's most important in life, the planet, ourselves, our values, principles, and through the issues that I've had, I feel that thankfully, at least in my personal life, my faith has guided me a lot. I was very lost a few months back because it's just very devastating as to what had happened to me personally, because my, situation came out of absolute nowhere, from being with someone for so long to just being dumped and thrown away like garbage. So this has been a pretty tough year, and I only hope that I really take this and advance on that, through my new endeavors with, my podcast and the modeling and all that stuff, going back to law school, which that might be delayed now for some time, but, everything is with time, and I will persevere as I have been and trying to, and just overcoming such adversity. I just think makes me a better person, and I just wish the best for myself and everybody else, even the people that have done me wrong. So, yeah. That's me.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
Well, like I say, you guys have kind of said everything that needs to be said. As for myself, and to those who've heard me last week, my situation. But I guess, like I say, as I told Coco, told my friends that, Coco last week, is like, it's got bad news, good news. The bad news is that I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. The good news is that they caught it early. Yeah. Well, I did. Yeah.
Either.
Well, I guess, yeah. It like I say, it came. Like I say, I say bad news, good news, because basically they caught it early enough that they're talking that I have a pretty good. It's the prognosis for my life of living a nice long life is still pretty good. And I've had good physicians who over the years have basically made sure I got all the right testing to make sure that things, when they keep tabs on things. And this is one of those things where that, I always tell the story. My family physician was, Tom, congratulations. I see you turned 50. By the way, I'm going to stick this finger to test your prostate. I'm going to give you a PSA, and also you're going to get a colonoscopy.
Right.
But that was
I know.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah. That was 17. But the thing is, he was one of those guys who stayed on top. He had my family history, and a few months ago, he said, I want you to go see the urologist. The urologist says, okay, right now you're fine, but you're going to come back and see me in 4 months. And 4 months later, he said, okay, we need to do a biopsy. And my dad went through this, and he lived a long life. I had a close friend of mine who's 13 years cancer-free. And he basically been one of those, here's what you need to look for, Tom. it was great to talk to him because here's what I got right. Here's what I wish I looked up more. But it is what it is. But I feel far more confident than I've done in a long time. But it's nice to know that I got friends.
Am I going to have to be
No,
nice
you don't
to
have to. Well, why would you? No, you don't have to be nice to me. I'm going to live long enough. I'm going to live long enough to give you more pain. I'll live long enough.
If that keeps you alive.
Yeah. So, but no, Well, I wanted to, like you say, it's one of those things when you got people say, out of the woodwork say, oh, we're with you. We're right behind you. It makes it really nice. Yeah. And it's the holidays, and it's the holiday spirit of the past 3 weeks. I've had a lot of people say to me, "Hey, let's you're going to win this thing. You're fine, and we're going to move on." And it's I so honestly,
Tom, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. Okay, I will pray for you. I promise.
Yeah. So, but like I say, I mean, the good news is the doctor we got this thing early enough. I'm going to have a very good prognosis.
You will.
Going into, so but I appreciate everything, all the friends and everything we have, and the friendship we've had on this particular show with all of you. And I want you guys to come back in 2021 because we're going to have, like I say, this show is going to, the network's taken off, and we're going to do some different things network-wise to make the show even better. But speaking really quickly, I want to first of all, Elizabeth, you got a podcast. Tell everybody about it.
So I actually just started. Thanks to you. You've been a big inspiration in my life and allowing for me to have that opportunity. And let me tell you something. When you let me on your show almost a year ago in January, I mean, it's just really taken off. It gave me a different sense as to where my power is, and I think that's in my voice. I decided to start and take the initiative after I went through that horrible breakup. And it's called Life Trials by EAC, Elizabeth Ann Charnay. You can find me on all audio streaming services and on YouTube. It's just Life Trials by E, capital A, capital C. And I really need to get I think it's this software to be able to do exactly what you do. And I'm excited for 2021 have you on there so we can get everybody on, Lauren, Steve, especially Coco. I got to get me Coco on here. And I'm really I'm excited for what this has to bring and bring everybody on, and I need that support and assistance and just really that, understanding. And I just look forward to everything, and I really look forward to working with a lot of you, and especially you, Tom. And it's just it's hard to hear that, but I know that you are going to persevere, and this just motivated me a lot more and my purpose in my life and what I have to do. So thank you a lot from the bottom of my heart.
Okay, Okay, Cece, you got any special projects coming up here?
I'm getting a website built right now, and I'll be launching that in the new year, probably in the spring. Hopefully before, but most likely in the spring. So, I'm excited about that, and I'm always working on some kind of writing project, so that never stops.
Okay, Lauren, I mean, you got so many things going on, so you got one in particular you like to talk about?
I do. I've got a TV project going, and I've got a finishing up on that last documentary going to a producer, and I've got another pilot going too. So I'm very excited about that, and hopefully we can give up teaching any time soon, which would be amazing. And I'm moving to Scotland soon.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wow. Well, cool.
I know.
Yeah. I know. That's just, my kids love Scotland. I mean, they've both been there, and they have friends there living there. Beautiful country. And it's so, I'll tell you what.
Can't wait, I know.
Yeah, so I guess we're basically going to say here, I'm sitting here trying to play with the board and trying to make sure I get the right thing here. And so far, yes, here it is. This is the hardest thing to do because right now I am basically I'm typing with two left thumbs here. Yes, so I'm trying to get, but I want to thank everybody for being on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. I love all of you. Coco, thank you very much. We're going here into 2021, and I know it's going to be a great year for all of us. Trust me, it's going to be a great. I just know it's going to be a great year for all of us. So this is Tom Donelson, Coco Konski saying good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Hey, we want to welcome everyone to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network. We have a special show for our listeners today, and we're going to be talking about police officers in their service during the holiday season. But before I move on, I got to introduce my co-host, who's actually letting me host the show for another week, and then he's going to become the host of the show. But he goes by the AK name Chief Swag. Chief Humphrey, how you doing?
What's up, Virgil? Hey, listen, man, I made a decision. Well, first of all, happy holidays to everybody. I hope everybody's having a good time.
Exactly.
Hey, I made a decision.
You did. What's that?
I'm gonna go ahead on. I'm gonna go ahead on and let you host. I'm gonna let you continue to. I will be the host, but I'll let you continue to facilitate the show. So
for going into this new year, you're gonna give me all of that responsibility.
Yeah, man. Absolutely,
oh, wow.
Absolutely, man. That's the kind of guy I am, man. Just because I'm an only child, man, don't mean I'm spoiled and selfish. So,
well, hey, you definitely sound like you are in the holiday spirit of giving.
Well, I tell you, man, I am, and it's just been so much to be thankful for, and it's just the fact that we're alive. And so many people have lost their lives, and so many people are hurting. That in itself, I think it's a time. I think this is a day that we need to just be thankful for everything we have. But we still have to pray for those individuals, man, who are just having a real difficult time. And may God bless each and every one of you.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Keith. So many families are still suffering throughout this pandemic. So many family members have lost, families to this pandemic. And, the unfortunate thing is that, just even with the release of the vaccinations, there's still lives going to be lost because of this virus. So 2020 has definitely been a year that we're going to look back on, and we're going to look back and see so many things that have happened with the pandemic, so many things that have happened between the police and the minority communities. And, we're just hopefully going into 2021 that some things will change. Communities will come together, and not just during the holiday season. And Keith, as you know, this show is we're going to be talking about how police officers are giving back to their communities during the holidays, but also, what does that mean throughout the other, 365 days of the year? And with everything that has happened in 2020, how does that impact the police relationships with the minority communities? And some people will say, Keith, some things that police departments are doing is it's a PR campaign. They're doing it just for the holidays. It's going to be business as usual after the holidays. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about over the course of the show. But we want to talk about some positive things because there's so many negative things that have happened, Keith. But we're hoping that our listeners will tune in and call into the show. And the number to call into the show is 646-929-0130. And you can follow us on our social media platforms. You can follow us on Facebook. That's You and the Law 1. That's You and the Law 1 on Facebook. And you can follow us on Instagram. That's You_and the Law. And you can follow us on Twitter at You the Law 1. And Keith, as you know, the Bachelor News Radio Network is doing a lot of exciting things, and our man LA is got a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and he's working hard for us to have some great shows. And there is a new website that you can go to and listen to our previous shows, and that is the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com, the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com, and you can check out our previous shows, and you can listen to us on Blog Talk. And so wherever you are, we're glad to have you with us. And so Keith, just looking forward to it, and I think we're going to have some Christmas music throughout the show, so we can get into the the holiday spirit. We're 4 days away from Christmas, but we got to have some Christmas music.
You know what, man? I just had a visual, man. I just had a visual, man, with some pointed ears and some little curled up shoes and a little red hat with a bell. And I just had a picture of that, man. And you passing out candy. I don't know why that flashed in front of me, man. I just got to have that visual, man.
I don't know. Where did the pointed shoes come from?
Elf, man. You're
Elf. An elf. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess it's good to be an elf and not the Grinch. So we want to make sure that I'm not the Grinch, and hey, passing out candy and a pointed shoe, I guess.
Well, but you would be man. You good dude, and I know, I just had that visual. I had to share that with you and the listeners, man. I don't know why that came across, man, but I'm good now.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, and also, Keith, we want to let our listeners know because we've been on since about March or April. The show is taken off, and we're doing a lot of great things, and we've got a lot of people that listen to our show, and so coming, going into 2021, we talked about going live and doing some other things so people can see who we are. So we're looking at doing our shows live, where we're going to be on Facebook Live, or we're going to be on some stream platform live, and on YouTube. So we're got some things working behind the scenes, but we're definitely excited about where things are going for our podcast show going into the new year. So, but just excited about it, Keith. A lot of good things are happening with the Bachelor News Radio Network, and also for You and the Law podcast show.
Absolutely, man. This is, I think God gave us this vision to do this, and it just continues to grow. And And the main thing is, man, what I really like about working with you in LA is that we're just real. We keep it real. We try not to be one-sided. We're open-minded. We listen to people. But the main thing, we just keep it real. You know, we're two chiefs that keep it real, that's been in this profession for over 30 years. We've seen it. We've heard about it. You know, and so we just talk, we want to talk about it. We want to answer the questions, the hard, the difficult questions.
Well, hey, we're going to keep it real, and we're coming up on our first break, but you're listening to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
If you want real discussions on politics, social issues, racial issues, and other topics, then tune into the Bachelor News Radio Show. Listen live every Monday and Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com. And if you missed the show, you can listen every Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern, and every Sunday at 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. at thebachelornews.airtime.pro. Listen and be informed.
Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys. One warm December, our hearts will see a world where men are free. Someday at Christmas, there'll be no war, when we have learned what Christmas is for. When we have found what life's really worth, there'll be peace on earth. Someday all our dreams will come to be. Someday in a world where men are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas we'll see a land with no hungry children, no empty hands. One happy morning, people will share a world where people care. Oh, someday at Christmas there'll be no tears, but all men are equal and no man has fears. One shiny moment, one prayer away from our world today. Someday all our dreams will come to be. Someday in a world where men are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas, man will not bear. Hate will be gone and love will prevail. Someday a new world that we can start with hope in every heart. Yeah. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas time.
Welcome back to You and the Law. The holiday is here. Stevie Wonderful, and someday at Christmas, as Virgil Chief Green had brought up, and the holiday spirit and the music there. Guys, and not to put a damper on all of that, but wanted to text, and it's something that actually happened to me that you guys can deal with, but I'll bring up, is that how do you deal when you have a bad dispatcher, a 911 dispatcher? I know in my case, it was a lady with attitude. She hung up on me. I know you got to ask questions, right? But if you got somebody at the door trying to get in, I don't think the questions are as relevant, other than maybe what they look like and telling you what to do in that situation. But also, what do you do if the cops never show? How do you handle that? And is there any repercussions behind that? Like if you call again and you complain, then they maybe don't come at all. So how do you handle that, Chief Swag and Chief Grant?
Well, say LA, that's a good. You know what? And that's a question that's been asked a lot of times, and that's very disturbing to me, because when someone calls 911, they've got an emergency. And you've heard me say this before. We don't have the right to tell people we're not coming to their homes. And so, yes, there is a complaint process. Everybody has a boss. And I will tell you that as a police chief, I would want to know, but I would definitely start with the police chief. I would start with internal affairs. You have a right to see the call sheet, to see if that call was ever logged in. You have a right to see if was that call ever dispatched. And you have also the right to see, because that's open records. Any police call that comes in is open record. And so you also have the right to know what was the disposition of that call. So you definitely have the right to do that. You should make a complaint. If you make a complaint loud enough to the mayor or the city manager, if you feel as though you can't talk to the police chief or someone who's over that communication center, just keep in mind that the mayor and the city manager will always listen. So don't ever feel that you can't make a complaint. Don't ever feel as though you have to just fall victim to that and not have your concerns heard. That's just solid. That's solid.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. When people call, as you stated, Keith, when citizens call in to 911, everybody knows it's an emergency. Kids know that you call 911 if you have an emergency. A lot of police departments, they have non-emergency numbers that if it's a non-emergency, you call that number. But the majority of calls, people do call 911. And, and I think, Keith, and I think this is where a lot of the problems initially start with the dispatcher, with the information that they're receiving and the information that they're putting out to the police officers. Because if they don't ask the right questions and if they don't try to get more information to give to those officers responding to calls, that officer is only going off of what either a little bit of information that dispatcher gave them or a lot of information that dispatcher has given them. And that can make a big difference in how that incident is, how things are going to play out once the police officers arrive. And, and I'd say to LA and anybody else who calls, if you feel that you have not received adequate police service, even from a dispatcher, because a lot of times dispatchers, they are going from calls to calls, but there is no excuse for them to be rude. There is no excuse for them to dismiss a person who calls in. And Keith, you and I, we've listened to, calls where people have, they're repeated people who call in to dispatchers and they know these people and they talk to them, and, a person can call in intoxicated and they carry on conversations with them. So, I think it's, there has to be a process to file a complaint against a dispatcher. And so, and if it doesn't rise to the level of where a citizen feels that they've got, a good response, then they need to take matters up to a higher level and all the way up to the police chief, Keith.
Yeah, there have been dispatchers that have been disciplined for that, and in one of my previous departments, a dispatcher was terminated for doing that, so you cannot take people's phone calls. You cannot make that decision as a dispatcher that if someone's calling for help, you cannot make that decision that because they've called 2 other times, well, I'm not going to send anybody this time because they were, playing possum the last
playing
time.
Games.
You just
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Let the police officers go out there and make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've dealt with the same thing where dispatchers will say, "Oh, well, I didn't send anybody because, I thought it was a prank or I thought it was a joke." Well, you're just on the receiving end of that phone call. You need to let the officers send them out no matter what and let them determine what how they're going to deal with that. And I think that's just a whole that just adds to the conversation of policing from the communication side to the police officer side, and and that's why this conversation that we're going to be having today about how police officers are serving their communities. Everybody wants to do good around the holiday season. Everybody wants to be give back to their communities. Everybody wants to help out families in need, and especially children who parents have been impacted by whatever financial, setbacks. But this is something that we definitely need to have a broader conversation about. Go ahead, Ellie.
I don't mean to interrupt. And again, I certainly don't want to dampen the holiday spirit, but I just wanted to follow up just because of I totally value and respect you guys' insight on this, and I don't know if does it make a difference? Here's a question: does it make a difference if the dispatcher is a actual officer or a civilian? The other question is, again, even if you're not calling a few times, in my situation, to be frank, and I normally don't put my stuff on Front Street, but someone was banging at my door. So I have the decision to make of if I open it and tussle with this person, or I stay inside or do something else and wait for the police. They never came. So I mean that's a tough place to be, especially when you have kids like I do. And my youngest son was very disturbed and nervous about what went down. And so when you think about that, how do you handle that? And then if you're in a position or not, is it realistic, Chief Swag, to be honest with you, realistic to think that you can go above the chief and go to the city council or the mayor and feel like your voice is going to be heard? Because you know how it is. I mean, people go, man, that ain't nobody going to listen to me. That kind of thing.
Well,
there's some realistic concerns there.
Well, let me tell you this. No elected official wants to get continuing messages from their constituents that they're not getting police service or any type of service to the city. And so I can promise you that when they make, if a citizen feels that if I call the police department, nothing's going to happen. If I call the chief, nothing's going to happen. But when you start talking to your representatives, or you start talking to the mayor or the city manager, I can assure you wheels are going to be turning, because they're going to have to answer. That police chief is going to have to answer to those individuals of why. Number one, why did a taxpayer's call not go answered? Number two, why were we rude to a taxpayer? Those are going to have to be questions that are going to have to be answered, and there's going to have to be some form of investigation to determine. And what's going to end up happening, either we drop the ball as the department, or this dispatcher just didn't do her job. I mean, those are going to be the questions. So yes, you do have, and I wish citizens wouldn't feel that way, that they feel as though they can't reach out. You can reach out. You have the right to reach out. Even if you don't want to reach out to your police department, reach out to those local government officials. Reach out to your state officials. They will listen to you because you voted for them, and they're going to listen to you, and they're going to get those wheels to roll and find out what's going on. Because if it happened to you, how many other people is it happening to?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, we're getting ready to come up on taking our break, but I'll just add to that the dispatchers are civilian employees, and so they fall under the police department, but all dispatchers are civilian employees. They're not police officers unless they have police officers in taking some calls. But we're going to take a quick break, and once we come out of that break, we'll pick back up with this conversation. But you're listening to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
Join Barry Barnes for Locker Talk on the Bachelor Pad Network as he presents NFL news and evaluates players. Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com.
Hey, I want to welcome everyone back to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network. That was just a little Christmas music to bring to our listeners on this holiday show that we're having on You and the Law podcast show on the Bachelor News Radio Network. So, T-Swag.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you got those pointy shoes on, man, and you got, the little beard and the little pointed hat on. You ready to go?
No, man. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to run out and get that. But I'm pretty sure
you're not gonna run anywhere. I know you're not gonna run anywhere.
Hey, man, I'm pretty sure I can come over. I can come and borrow your red pointed shoes. I know you got a pair.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Well, hey, we want to welcome everyone back, but if you're just now tuning in to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network, we're having a special edition of our show, which we're going to be talking about, the service that police officers give back to the communities during the holiday season. But Keith, it's a time where you want to, so many families have struggled throughout this pandemic, and so many families continue to struggle and will continue to struggle because of just the economic factors of everything that's going on. But with everything that has happened, Keith, we still continue to see these incidents happen between police officers and the black community. And, one of the things I wanted to briefly, talk about was, this latest incident took place in Virginia Beach. Keith, I don't know if you've seen this viral video that took place at an outlet mall where this was just several days ago. Family was out doing Christmas shopping. They were in a food court eating. The police officers came up, approached the husband who's sitting down, getting ready to eat, and all of a sudden he's being told that he matches the description of a robbery suspect, a black male with dreads, and he has his wife, his kids. All this is going on, and the unfortunate thing, that happened at the end, Keith, was the fact that he was not the person that they were looking for. They got outside, realized he was not the person. He continued to tell the police, "You got the wrong person." The only thing that the police officer, and I think it was a sergeant, could say, we're sorry, we got a mix-up, but you're a black man with dreads." And, Keith, and it's just like, even when police officers or police departments try to do everything they can to build better relationships with especially the minority community, you see incidents like this happen. Then you see the incident in Chicago with the black female social worker who the police officers raided her home. She was completely naked. They showed no regard for this woman's body. This went on for at least 15, 20 minutes before they even put a blanket around her, Keith. And just recently, Keith, in Rockdale Hill, South Carolina, another older black gentleman, police officers raided his home, and this is something we're just now hearing about that happened in 2019. But he didn't have any clothes on, and so when people in the minority community see these type of images, Keith, and it's almost like, well, when they hear the things that police officers are doing around the holiday season, it's almost as if it just goes on deaf ears, because it's like, okay, you're trying to do something to improve your image, even if it's not that agency that did it. It still puts a black eye on policing across the United States.
Man, and that is sad, because it is, I think about everything, the departments that I've been affiliated with and the things that officers do day in and day out, and especially, and there's a mindset by many officers that no child or no adult should go without something special for Christmas. And you talk about all the things that officers do, not collectively, but independently. And we could go on and on and on and on about these stories. But however, that one incident tarnishes the entire image, or it just crosses out the positive things that law enforcement officers do on a daily basis. That small group of officers that were involved in that. If we could just get officers to understand, think, just think, just use some common sense, just use your social intelligence, your emotional intelligence. Hold down. You don't have to rush all the time. We've gotten to a point now where we have the luxury of slowing down and finding out what we have. I'm not saying there aren't going to be those exigent circumstances where you have to go in immediately. But when you have certain situations, wait for your backup. Let's see if we can get a game plan in place. I'm not trying to sound like everything's roses and balloons and stuff. That's the way it is. I've been doing this 32 years, and I know that there are times that we have to use a certain amount of force. We talked about that. Exigent circumstances push us to the point that we have to make immediate responses. But I'm talking about the things like you go into this lady's house. Okay, let's negate the fact that you went into the wrong house. Let's just put that to the side. We can't forget about it. Let's just put it to the side. But how do you stand there? Do you know how humiliating that was for that lady? To stand there in front of those men. It was humiliating, and then to know that they went into the wrong house. Now, just think, those officers could have just delivered a truckload of toys, food, and everything to that community. Okay, but that incident is going to tarnish that entire event, and that's why I say, even though we say we didn't try to do that, we apologize. Man, I mean, it's just the fact that how do you apologize for humiliation? How do you apologize for entering someone's home by mistake? How do you apologize for taking a life that may not have needed to be, that you probably could have prevented from happening. So I'm just saying, we got to realize it's bigger than us. It's bigger than us.
Yeah, and I think that's why so many people in the black community, they don't trust the police, they don't believe the police, and oftentimes, even if it is an African American who's leading that agency, they may not even trust that police chief who is black, or a police chief who is a black female, because just of the culture of policing and the fact that these things, happen, and what are we doing to change that image? And I think, when you say, oh, we're sorry, we went into the wrong, when I saw that video, Keith, and, we're getting ready to come up on, take our next break, but when I saw that video, this was a black woman standing fully naked around 12 to 15 men, and there was another white female police officer standing in the room, in her living room, not doing anything to put any type of clothing around her. And it just kind of went back to saying, okay, black men and black women, you were put up on a slave block, put up on a podium where men and women looked at your bodies, and here we are in 2020, and our police departments are still, doing these things that happened 100, 200 years ago. And it's like, how would you feel if that was your mother? But Keith, this is a topic that, we're going to continue to have these conversations about. But But, man, let's jump in and take this next break. But when we come out of this break, we're going to pick back up on the conversation that we're having. But you're listening to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
You know, there's dashes and dances and prances and vixens, Comet and Cupid and Donna and Blitzen. But do you recall some of them?
Hey, welcome back to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network. We're playing some Christmas music for our listeners today, so hopefully everybody is enjoying the Christmas music that we're playing, and as we are talking about how police officers are serving their communities during the holiday season. But right before the break, we were talking about several incidents that have happened in the past couple of weeks with police across the United States, and how those things are definitely impacting how the minority communities are feeling about their relationships with police officers. Because again, Keith, we want to definitely talk about some of the positive things that our police officers are doing in their communities, especially with children who, don't oftentimes, their families need some help, and organizations, they do come along and they do provide that assistance for police officers. And at the same time, police officers or families, they have kids themselves. So, but as we have seen, so many things overshadow some of those positive things that happen in our communities, whether you're in Little Rock, Oklahoma, or North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever you're at. it definitely has an impact on how the minority community looks at our police departments.
It does, and there's more good stuff out there than bad, that's going on. But you just have to, make it, let it be known that if we want communities to buy into our, to our beliefs of 21st century policing, and want communities to buy into the fact that we're there to serve them, we've got to minimize or reduce or eliminate these things that are continually happening. Because to the listeners, I want to say, I work with men and women I just witnessed men and women put on 2 programs over the past 2 weeks in my department for kids throughout Little Rock. And it's just amazing that even though with the COVID and we couldn't actually bring the kids in to shop with the officers went out and bought the gifts, and they're going to be delivered to the family. So they didn't allow the COVID pandemic to slow that down, because we know we're out here on these calls. We're out here in people's homes. We know what they have, what they don't have, who really needs it. But I'm saying that to the listeners, these are the things that we're doing daily. It's not just around Christmas time. We have officers that are donating blood, officers that are donating clothes, officers who are donating cars to families. We have officers that are ministers. We have officers that are helping build homes for people. We have officers that are taking people to the doctor. We have officers that are buying plane tickets for people. This goes on every day in throughout the nation, but it doesn't mean a thing to that community when they lose a loved one, or when they see a situation where someone is forced to stand in front of other people nude, crying, humiliated. That just completely throws a waterfall on the candle that we've lit in order to see clearly, or be able to see vividly. The waterfall hits that candle and it's out. So we've got to do a better job of eliminating these incidents. I don't even want to say minimizing it, reducing. I want to see these type of incidents eliminated. Is that possible? I don't know. But can we try to do that? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and there has to be a lot more effort put into, you made the comment, can it be eliminated? I mean, everything should be done to work toward that goal. But everything depends upon every individual officer. You've got some good officers who do a lot of great things. You've got the bad officers who they do things on their own terms. And even the good officers know who those bad officers are, and they just kind of either distance themselves from them. But those are the ones who don't need to be working in this profession, because this is where you're going to have to really help people in the worst of times. And so, Keith, we just need to make sure that the men and women who are brought into this profession, that they have a mindset that this is a service that you're giving back to your communities. And so, and that should be done 365 days a year. It shouldn't just be done during the holiday season. Kids need tennis shoes, clothing, and all the other essential things. If those families do really need that help, there's organizations that help them, that helps police officers out, provide those things to them. But we just got to do a better job, Keith. And it just seems like you see these videos. It's like, did you not see what happened with George Floyd? Did you not see what happened with Trayvon Martin? Did you not see what happened with all these other people that have been killed by the hands of a police officer? And here you are, you're running into a home where this woman is completely naked, or a home where an elderly black man is completely naked, or you're taking a father up from his seat while he's eating with his family at an outlet mall, humiliating him, and now those children Now all of a sudden you want to sympathize with the kids and say we made a mistake, but you're the grown-ups, you're the adults, you're the ones who's supposed to know what you're doing and how to go about doing your job, Keith. And I always want to be positive and upbeat about it, Keith. But at what point do you stop and say your apologies? You can apologize all you want, but it's already done. The damage has already been done. And I think that's what's wrong when I listen to activists talk, because they're saying we're tired of hearing police say we're sorry. Oh, we messed up. We're sorry. But you got all this training, but you're not using any common sense before you do these things, Keith.
Well, the thing about us, we have to get it right. I mean, we although we have the authority to do quite a few things, that are just, we have that authority to do some things that people think, that are just, it makes us look bigger than we are. But we also have a responsibility to get it right. You can't make mistakes like knock on the wrong door. When you think about it, on search warrants, that information is supposed to be well vetted. That information is supposed to be a magistrate or judge is supposed to make sure that's vetted, that it's correct. You're supposed to have a plan in place to ensure that you've done everything possible. That warrant, that affidavit, has the descriptive factors of that location. This is it. This is it. This is it. So it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have an idea, a mistake-free process when you go to someone's house and you're going to serve a warrant. There's already concern that we overstep our boundaries, and so we can't make those type of mistakes. We can't continue to make those type of mistakes. And at the end of the day, how do you stand there as a veteran officer? How do you stand there with a woman begging you to put clothes on? She's not even trying to argue with you all the fact that, her main focus is at least allow me to put some clothes on. You're humiliating me. How do you not? How do you not respect that and get that done? And so, those are the things that I just don't get. I don't understand how we continue to put our foots in our mouth.
Well, Keith, and I'm gonna say this. Another thing that even made this situation even much more worser was the fact that all the way to the top leadership in that city is a black mayor, female mayor, who did everything she could to prevent this video from being released by the local news media. And so,
well, let me say this, Virgil. I get it, and that's what. But I don't think, because she made it very clear. Did you see how emotional she was the other day at her press conference? She got it very emotional. But she said that. Well, that was after the fact. But she said that they didn't give her all the information. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse. Please don't think I'm saying it's an excuse. But you do have to ask all the questions. But you can't, it doesn't look good based on what we're hearing about, they tried to suppress the video. That doesn't look good. And the thing you're going to hear, well, it came from the mayor's office or it came from the chief's office, and it's hard to reel that back in. And so, it's very difficult to reel back. So I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying I know what it feels like when people don't tell you all the facts, and you find out later on. So I'm just going to say that. So I'm not defending anybody. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think it's upon the roles that we have as police chiefs and the roles the elected officials have as mayors or city managers, especially mayors, to ask more questions and to seek more information, because oftentimes, as you know, Keith, people will only tell you what they want you to know. There's oftentimes a lot behind what you don't know that you may find out even after you have spoken. Now you've got to figure out some kind of way to really come out and to address the issue that took place. But, Keith, we're coming up, man, on the last minutes of the show, but it's been, this hour goes by so quick in the topics that we've talked about. Is hopefully the audience has gained a little bit more knowledge about what we've talked about, and the fact that there's so many things that's going on in policing, and with the pandemic going on, with so many people suffering. It is the holiday season. To some, it's not feeling like it's the holidays, but hopefully, this show we've brought some knowledge to you, and along the way with our Christmas music, we put you in the spirits before Christmas comes up in 4 days, Keith. So, man, it's hard to believe that we're almost at the end of 2020.
I just want to know one thing, man. Do you make your own eggnog?
Man, I don't like eggnog, but I know you do. But and I'm gonna
you don't like seafood. You don't like eggnog. You don't like candy. Man, what do you like, man?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. What is today? Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah. It's Taco Tuesday, man. 4 days before Christmas, and it is Taco Tuesday. So you can put some tacos in front of me, man, and I'm good. But not with no eggnog. You can put some tacos in some tea, but not eggnog. But I'm gonna bring you some eggnog over for Christmas.
Brother, if you put some eggnog, if you eat some tacos and put some eggnog with it, do not come to my house. Don't come to my house. I'm not gonna ride in the car with you. I don't want no part of that, brother. Taco and eggnog is a hell of a combination. But I want to say this, man. I got to say this to LA, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family, man. If it wasn't for you, man, we wouldn't have this opportunity. You're a great producer, man. You're a good friend. We love you, brother.
Well, definitely. And there's more to come of You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network, and we're really excited about the things that we're doing, and hopefully, the listeners will definitely tune in and listen to our show. But but we still have one show before the end of the year, Keith, and I think we're gonna come back and do our last show before the end of the year, and then we'll definitely take things in a new new direction going into 2021. But we want to say, thank each and every one of you for listening to the show, but we want to remind you that if you did not catch all of this show's episode, definitely go to the BachelorNewsRadioNetwork.com and click on You and the Law and listen to this show and our previous shows. But Keith, we want to say, Merry Christmas, and we'll see everyone after Christmas. But Keith, you and your family have a good Christmas, sir.
You too, brother. You too, man. And no tacos and eggnog for you, bro.
Well, man, I'm gonna bring you over some eggnog. I may not bring you no tacos, but I'm gonna bring you some eggnog. But hey,
all right, bro.
But man, it's been a pleasure, and again, thank you all for listening to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network, and definitely make sure you follow us on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and go and like our page, and just make sure that everyone has a safe and happy holiday season, and again, we're glad to have everyone tune in to us. But you're listening to You and the Law on the Bachelor News Radio Network.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
good music on my radio. I would love to hug and kiss you, baby, while you're standing beneath the mistletoe.
Hello? I would like to speak to Bonquisha. Yes, this is Otis. Well, tell her she is going to hear me one way or the other. Either she steps outside, or either she's going to hear me through the door. You know, Bonquisha, ever since you and I stopped seeing each other, I ain't been doing nothing but thinking. I ain't been able to sleep. I ain't been able to do nothing that required you being in it. Baby, I know that we've had rough times before, but we got through it. Like the time all the power went off in the house, and we had to finish cooking the collard greens on the half heater, but we did it together. All the time that the froster didn't work on the microwave, and the turkey was still frozen. Remember, we had to get chicken down from Larry's Long Neck Leadwater Late Night Chicken House. Remember? But now I don't have you, and that's why I'm having these Christmas blues. Yes, Christmas blues. Sometimes I wonder, was it worth it? Waking up early in the morning to go to the Little Champ to get you 3 pickled eggs, some Lay's plain potato chips, and a Coca-Cola. I said, self, was it worth it? And myself answered back, yes, it was real worth it. I miss you, and I love you so much. I'll do anything to make you mine again. I'm also lonely, so sad and blue. I'm spending Christmas Day without you. I'm very, very sad and lonely. But anyway, let me tell you something. I do have you and the kids a present this year. I had y'all a present last year, but you know, my alternator broke in my truck, and you know I need my truck for to go to work. And so I had to take the receipt, take all the presents back, and fix my alternator. But I do got you a present this year. I didn't have time to wrap it up. I got it in some brown pick and save bags. Also, I got some wine. I got some cold duck, baby. You need to open the door. He quacking. I remember one Christmas, maybe 3 Christmases ago, we ran out of ham, and you said you wanted another ham. But you really didn't say you wanted another ham. I just figured that's what you wanted. So they had a 12-dozen crab special, so I got you a dozen of big blue crabs. I mean, I'm just saying, I just hope this Christmas is a little different. You know, I just want a little turkey, a little that sweet, sweet plum dressing. You know, I just want the kids to be happy. And, you know, Bonquisha, I know when we got married, I vowed to give you diamonds and pearls. But when I hurt my back at work, my workman's comp could only get zirconia and Gannon necklaces. I also said that when we moved out of your mama's house, we were going to move into a place double her size. That's why I got 2 trailers and put them together. Yes, baby, double wide. All those things I done for you and the kids, but I still have these Christmas blues because I'm spending Christmas out the kids and you. I love you, Bonquisha, I love you. But you know what? One thing I want to tell you this year about Christmas. Last year, when you served up all the turkey and you know, all of the trimmings and everything, when the cranberry dressing got round to me, there was none left. So please, I hope you have 2 cans of cranberry dressing in there because I love that cranberry sauce. Please, thank you, and please open the door, baby, it's cold.
It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Ho, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you. Kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. the street. Say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Ho, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, yes sir, once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
Merry Christmas, baby. Sure did treat me nice. Merry Christmas, baby. You sure did treat me nice. Gave me a diamond ring for Christmas. Now I'm living in paradise. Feeling mighty fine. Got good music on my radio. Ooh, I'm feeling mighty fine. I got good music on my stereo. Well, I wanna kiss you, baby, while you're standing beneath the mistletoe. Satan, he came down the chimney about 3:30. Left all these pretty presents that you see before me. Ooh, Merry Christmas, baby. Sure been good to me. I haven't had a drink this morning. I'm all lit up. I'm all lit up. Ooh, like a Christmas tree.
How much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, firesides blazing bright. We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. My world is filled with you and me. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes outshine the town again. This Christmas, firesides blazing bright. We're caroling through the night.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe she'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go, but she forgot her medication, and she staggered out the door into the snow. When we found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack, she had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Grandpa. He's been taking this so well. See him in there watching football, drinking beer and playing cards with Cousin Mel. It's not Christmas without Grandma. All the family's dressed in black, and we just can't help but wonder, should we open up her gifts or send them back? Send them back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now the goose is on the table, and the pudding made of fig. And the blue and silver candles that would just have matched the hair in Grandma's wig. I've warned all my friends and neighbors, better watch out for yourselves. They should never give a license to a man who drives a sleigh and plays with elves. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Sing it, Grandpa. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Merry Christmas.
Your baby boy will one day walk on water. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you deliver will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know? Did you know that the blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again? did you know that your baby boy will one day rule the nation? Did you know that your baby boy heaven's perfect land and the sleeping child you're holding is the great I am? Did you know? Oh, Mary, oh yeah, my yeah. Mary, did you know that your little baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know your baby boy, he's gonna save my sons and daughters? Mary, did you know? My, oh Mary, Mary, did you know?
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is Michael Jackson of the Jackson 5 wishing a happy holiday to all Motown fans.
Wow! Mommy's kissing Santa Claus! I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe last night. She didn't see me creep down the stairs to have a seat. She thought that I was tucked up in my bedroom fast asleep. Then I saw Mommy tickle Santa Claus underneath mistletoe. Why? Oh, what a wreck this would have been if Daddy had only seen Mommy kissing Santa Claus last night. Mommy kissing Santa Claus. I did. I really did see Mommy kissing Santa Claus, and I'm gonna tell my daddy. You gotta believe me. You just gotta believe me. Come on, fellas, believe me. You just gotta believe me.
Santa Claus goes straight to the ghetto. Hitch up your reindeer, go straight to the ghetto. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Fill every stocking you find. The kids are gonna love you so. Leave a toy for Johnny. Leave a doll for Mary. Leave something pretty for Donnie. And don't forget about Gary. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Tell him James Brown sent you. Go straight to the ghetto. You know that I know what you will see, 'cause that was once me. Hit it, hit it. You see mothers and soul brothers. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Santa Claus, oh Lord, go straight to the ghetto. Fill every stocking you find. The kids are gonna love you so. Fill every stocking you find. You know that they need you so. I'm begging you, Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. If anyone wanna know, tell them Hank Ballard so. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Never thought I'd realize I'd be singing a song with water in my eyes. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Don't leave nothing for me. I've had my chance, you see. Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto. Santa Claus, that soul brother needs so. Santa Claus.
Santa
bell rock, a jingle bell swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. A jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. A jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell. Rock, jingle bell chiming, jingle bell time, snowing and blowing bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock, jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time, dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time! It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. A mix and a mingle and a jingling beat. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the
Hold
house...
it now, wait, hold it. That's played out. Hit it! Don't you give me all that jive about things you wrote before I was alive. Cause this ain't 1823, ain't even 1970. Now I'm the guy named Curtis Blow, and Christmas is one thing I know. So every year, just about this time, I celebrate it with a rhyme. Gonna shake it, gonna bake it, gonna make it good. Gonna rock, shock, rock it through your neighborhood. Gonna read, gonna sing it till it's understood. My rap about to happen like a knee you was slapping, or I told you been tapping on a hunk of wood. Bought a red suited dude with a friendly attitude and a sleigh full of goodies for the people on the block. Got a long white beard, maybe looks kinda weird, and if you ever see him, he can give you quite a shock. Now people, let me tell you about last year when the dude came flying over here. Well, the hawk was out, snow was on the ground. Folks stayed in to party down. The beat was thumping on the box, and I was dancing in my socks. And the drummer played at a solid pace, and the taste of the bass was in my face. And the guitar player laid down the heavy layer of the funky junky rhythm of the disco beat. And the guy with the 88 started to participate, and I could sure appreciate the sound so sweet. We were all in the mood, so we had a little food and a joke and a smoke and a little bit of wine. When I thought I heard a hoop on the top of the roof, could it be it wasn't me? I was feeling super fine, so I went to the attic where I thought I heard the static on the chance that the fans put the body breaking in. Put the noise on the top with a reindeer top, just a trick, Saint Nick, and I let the sucker in. He was rolling, he was fully, and I said, holy moly, you got a lot of wishes on your chinny chin chin. He allowed, he was proud of the hairy little crowd on the point of the door where the sin should have been. Get cool for a fool, going out every you for a day on the sleigh when the cold winds blow. Through the beer may be weird, but I'll never have a cheer, cause it's warm in the storm when it's 10 below. I said, yo, God, it's cold tonight, but can you stop for a drop before you go? He said, why not? If the music hot and our chance to dance beneath the mistletoe. So he went downstairs and forgot his scare. And every young girl tried to rock his world, but he booked the yogi till he had to go. And before he went, this fine old Jake bought a gift with a tip to his big red bag. In the top or the bottom, he reached in and got him toys for the girl's glad rags. And the grown-ups got some presents too. A new TV and a stereo. A new Seville, bought as blue as the sky. The best that money couldn't buy. Cause money could never ever buy the feeling. The one that comes from not concealing the way you feel about your friends. And this is how the story ends. The dude in red back at the pole up north where everything is cold. But if he were right here tonight, he'd say Merry Christmas. And to all, a good night.
Well, I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what you mean. What did you say your name was?
I see that it's not clear for you good buddies to clean out your ears. Listen very close while I pop more game, cause my name in the Hall of Fame. The K-U-R, the T-I-S, the first is the best, I must confess. The B-L-O and the W, I make you wanna catch the boogaloo too. Now if your name is Annie, get up off your vanity. If your name is Side, get off your backside. If your name is Pete, you don't need a seat, cause I'm Curtis Blow and I'm on the go. I'm rocking to the limbs in stereo. Just throw your hands in the air and rave on like you just don't care. If you're ready like Freddie to rock real steady, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, young ladies, all the ladies in the house say, ow. And you don't stop, come on, come on, come on, let me see you rock. Get down, stop messing around when Curtis Blow is in your town. I'm Curtis Blow on the microphone. A place called Harlem was my home. I was rocking one day, it started to shake. And so to me, I like an earthquake. I packed my bags, I said goodbye. I kissed my woman and I started to fly. I came to Earth by a meteorite to rock you all on the mic. So just kick off your shoes, let your fingers pop. The Curtis Blow's just about ready to rock. Now the people in the back, if you're not the whack, say. The people in the front, if you want to bump, say. The people in the middle, if you want to wiggle, say. And the people on the side, if you want to slide, say. Not a preacher or a teacher or an electrician, a fighter or a writer or a politician. The man with the key to your ignition. Curtis Blow is competition. Young ladies, shock the house. That's young ladies, shock the house. Now just throw your hands in the air and wave it like you just don't care. If y'all really ready to rock the house this morning, somebody say, oh yeah. Somebody scream. Oh, young ladies, Mercedes, all the ladies in the house say ow. Say ho. Ho. Ho, ho. like a little boy blues blowing on a horn. The DJ on a record trying to play a song. It's been that way since the day was born. I like a 25-cent bag of popcorn. Dip, dip, dab, so socialize. Plug your ears and open up your eyes. So you go here can realize that I'm here to tranquilize. Got the knack of cool jack. is low is in your town. I'm a one of a kind, I'll wreck your mind. Put a wiggle, double wiggle in your behind. Twice as nice, I'm skating on ice. When my mama gave birth, she named me the baddest MC on earth, y'all. To the beat that makes it free.
Little Lep, where have you been?
Naughty.
Hey, that's right. Oh, the naughty you. Keeping me from my rounds. I'm late as it is. Now stay put. Don't go anywhere till I get back. Understand me?
Nice.
Yo, man, let's go eat, man. I'm starved.
Come on, man.
Yo.
Run so loud and proud, you hear it. It's Christmas time and we got the spirit. Jack for chillin', the hawk is out, and that's what Christmas is all about. The time is now, the place is here, and the whole wide world is filled with cheer. My name's DMC with the mic in my hand, and I'm chillin' and coolin' just like a snowman. So open your eyes, lend us an ear. We wanna say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
I've waited and waited for someone
that we met. And oh yes, I believed you as you told me, as you said, you'd be here every year, every Christmas. There must be a lesson for me to learn. If you don't trust and love, you get nothing in return. Why should I be loving? Don't tell me it's right. I have my pride, but I'd rather be with you tonight. So much emotion, it's driving me mad. Yeah, but I'll take my chances with these feelings that I have, and I'll come back to this same corner where we met, and I'll be here every year, every Christmas. Mere words can't explain the pain and the fear. 'Cause I wonder, yeah, yes, I wonder, are you gonna leave me standing here? Today's almost over, but I don't wanna leave. Has my heart made a fool out of me? My friends gather around me with holiday cheer. Yeah, they say to forget you, to let you go, 'cause you're not here. Well, I can't keep explaining what they'll never understand, and why I'm here every year, every Christmas. I return every year, every Christmas. I come here every year, every Christmas.
Was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
In my mind, I want you to be free. For all of my friends, would you listen to me? Now hear what I say. We wish you a Merry Christmas to each
Lots of happy little children waiting for sunrise. A stocking full of candy and a big surprise. Look at the happiness in their eyes. They're glad it's Christmas. People caroling into the night. Where the snow is falling, their sleigh bell rides tonight. We'll snuggle to a nice warm fire. I'm glad it's Christmas. But before this day gets underway, think of how much love you wish to give today. Then wonder why we can't give it all every day. There is no reason, every season is love. People really need one another. Man, woman, boy, girl, sister, and brother. We wish happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to you. And for this holiday season celebration, let's lift our hands to the holy nation to say thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Happy birthday to you. Happy holidays to you. Hope is the strength we need. Love is to share it. Peace is to be with everyone. Hey, happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to you. People really need one another. Man, woman, boy, girl, sister, and brother. We wish happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. We wish you happy holidays.